Smart Driving Car Summit. We're in the kind of the exhibition area, and we're with Momentum wireless charging. It's really cool stuff. Bob, why don't you tell us what we're talking about here?
So wireless charging is a concept that people are actually familiar with. Typically they're using it for consumer devices like your toothbrush or your cell phone. We basically have a similar concept that we're operating at 30,000 times more power than that and much more efficient than those consumer operations. What we do is we enable any type of EV to wirelessly charge in a hands-free operation, totally automatic. It's similar to if you're used to automatic tolling. Think of us as the charging equivalent of that. You drive over a charging pad and you might only be there for a couple minutes. And in that couple minutes, we can add meaningful range extension to your vehicle. And the beauties of this compared to a plug-in charger are multifold. First of all, it's totally automatic, hands-free. You don't have to get out of your vehicle. So all-weather operations, snow, ice, rain. If it's at night, you're afraid of getting out of your car because you're all alone, not an issue. And all the commercial aspects are automated as well. So we authenticate the vehicle automatically and we enable automatic payments as well. And this technology has been deployed on all classes of vehicles, ranging from consumer vehicles through trucks all the way up to Class 8 trucks. Our dominant deployment today is in the transit bus space, where we're in several hundred transit buses out on the West Coast, predominantly up in the Northwest. We're working with multiple transit agencies, and these have been deployed commercially since 2018. We are a factory installed option by 3 different bus OEMs, Hillig, BYD, and Green Power, and they are commercially deployable, commercially sold vehicles. We have also integrated with autonomous vehicles. Our very first autonomous deployment was in 2015 with Google X with their autonomous vehicle. We've also integrated with autonomous Class 8 trucks. We've also incorporated with ADAS systems to enable automated alignment over a charger.
So this becomes really important though, especially like if you're in a bus route or an autonomous vehicle route where you can do this autonomous charging. How does that impact, the battery? Does it allow you to go longer or what?
Well, that's part of the economic value to a transit operator or any commercial operator, is that notion of being able to operate your vehicles as long as you want to, effectively perpetually, without having to return home to a home base or a depot to charge. So for a transit bus, we will, once per cycle of that bus's route, during regular passenger loading and unloading, it might be 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, whatever, based on the needs of that route, we will provide enough charging so that bus can stay on route all the time. Without this technology, the buses will run out of energy at some point during the day. It could be early afternoon, late morning, or early evening, depending upon the demands of the route. But what happens is these transit operators, when they electrify, they have to buy extra buses because that bus will run out of energy. They have to take it back, plug it in, grab a new bus, and bring it back. So now you have extra equipment, extra labor, the deadheads of back and forth driving. And what we enable them to do is actually to run that route perpetually with less battery. So you have a lighter bus, cheaper bus, and a more efficient bus by using this automatic charging.
And just like we'd planned, here comes the bus that hasn't been electrified, ironically.
Yeah, that's a noisy one.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of ancillary benefits as well. The system is solid state, so there's no moving parts, no exposed components. One of the issues with cable-based systems is both deliberate and inadvertent damage to the equipment. There's a lot of cable theft for the copper. There's a lot of vehicle damage, people running over the cables or driving off with the cable attached. So the cable systems are moving wearable parts. We are a solid state system with no exposed components. We have no moving components. So from a maintenance perspective, it's very easy to maintain and much more reliable to maintain than a plug-based system, or a lot of people are doing robotic or articulated, trying to do robotic chargers. Obviously moving parts are expense, are risk points, and are failure points in mechanical system.
You don't have to worry, I assume, about getting zapped yourself because of the way it works, right?
Well, there's a couple aspects to that question. First of all, no, you don't have to worry.
Okay.
It's inert when you're not charging. But even if you're in and around it while it is charging, we have to adhere to all of the exact same safety standards as any piece of electronic equipment. There's the UL, there's the EMF standards. So we believe, the only wireless provider who has both UL as well as CE mark for Europe certified. And we also adhere to all of the international standards for human exposure to electromagnetic fields. In fact, it is more dangerous to put your cell phone in your breast pocket than it is to lay down next to one of our chargers while charging at full power. So the exposure you're doing with that operation is more dangerous. One of our vehicle manufacturers did their own EMF testing, and they found that the seat heaters inside the car and the cell phone charger inside the car exposed the occupants to much more EMF than our system while operating at full power. So we're pretty comfortable with kind of what we're doing on the safety front.
Excellent. Well, and it obviously the business model seems to be there, so it looks like this is the future. So Bob, thank you very much.
I appreciate the time.
Thanks.